as someone who doesn't watch any sports, but who's watched every match of the World Cup and has many, many thoughts. Someone in the comments said that the players aren't like telepathically communicating. They're actually yelling and talking on the field. But because the matches are being filmed from like so far away, obviously we can't hear them. I don't know why this didn't even enter my head. It's kind of risky faking an injury, because what if you're like rolling around on the ground, but the ball is still in play, and now your team is like all the way across the field and they made a goal? Wouldn't it just be better if you just didn't fake the injury? Qatar versus Bosnia, I said Bosnia would win, and they did. There was a nutmeg made. The ball slipped right in between the legs of the Qatar player. Something I did notice is both for Qatar and Bosnia, the other team like helped make the goal for the other team. I can't believe how often that happens. Canada versus Switzerland, I said they were evenly matched, but that Switzerland would maybe win, and they did. Canada had one of the best goals though in that game. Like, the guy received the ball, but like he kicked it in the air with his foot. Then he kicked it again to pass the ball, so it's still in the air. And then the guy that he kicked the ball to kicked it right into the goal. I love when they can score a goal and the ball doesn't even touch the ground. Czech versus Mexico, I said Mexico would win, and they did. They had a really lovely bicycle kick that didn't make a goal, but it was still cool. It's kind of like, you know, if you watch somebody do a flip, and even if they don't land the flip, it's still cool that they did a flip. One of the players, I think his name was Romo, and he's player 7, he had to fight like 4 people to pass the ball to player 20 that made the goal. It was awesome. Also, he's player 7, and Vinny Jr. is player 7 on Brazil. Maybe that's a lucky number. No, it's probably the position, right? Like, number 7 is probably a position on the field. But I was wrong with my South Africa versus South Korea prediction. I felt South Korea played better. Sometimes it just goes that way. Just like with Turkey. Scotland versus Brazil, I made no predictions, but Brazil made 2 nasty goals. One was where Vinny Jr., he like played right in the goalkeeper's face. He like tapped the ball a little to the right and then pop, hit it right in. It's embarrassing like when you get the ball past the goalkeeper when it's just you and them. Something I noticed this match with Brazil, they passed the ball a lot behind them. That must mean when they're practicing plays, they're practicing passing the ball behind them. That's kind of cool. There was one incredible goal celebration at the end. I think it was the final goal where player 9 had player 8 put his foot like on his knee and he like shined it, because player 8 was the one that got through like 3 people to pass the ball to player 9 so he could shoot it. That is the foot that got you the goal. Loved that. Morocco versus Haiti, I also did not make a prediction for this, but I was surprised that Haiti got 2 goals in. I really enjoy how Morocco plays. They're like quick on their feet and like pass the ball really well, kind of like Portugal. But they also have a little bit of style. They're really good at like sliding, but just tapping the ball and not the person's foot. Like safety first. They also do this thing where when people try and tackle them, they like skip over their feet. I love that. And Haiti had the best blue. Oh my gosh, it was like an electric blue. How many jerseys do all of the teams have? This was one of my favorites. It's the type of blue that looks good on anyone. Okay, that's it so far. I'm pumped. There is a lot of spitting in this game. Too much spitting. They're literally slipping and sliding in each other's spit and sweat. Ew. I don't think I really understand what a foul is. I see people kicking, grabbing, and sometimes it's okay and sometimes it's not okay. But then sometimes like an elbow to someone's head is like definitely a foul. But when you're in the air and like your arms are moving, you're just doing what's natural, right? Surely the person that like jumps in the air and like their elbow goes down, they're not trying to give the other person a concussion or like break their skull. I thought Japan would surely crush Sweden. Because Japan did so well with the Netherlands, and because Netherlands crushed Sweden, I was surprised that the match ended in a draw, a tie. Love number 7 and number 13 on Japan. But that could be because I've been getting a lot of edits of those two on my For You page. I thought Turkey would crush the USA, but Turkey only did a little better. USA actually did really well, I thought, in this game. I was impressed with how many corners USA got. I feel bad for Turkey, though. Have teams ever just, like, quit when they know they're not advancing? Probably not, right? Like, that's bad sportsmanship. Something I've also been trying to do is not follow the ball as much as the players, like trying to focus on how the players arrange themselves. And in that final goal that Turkey got, USA thought it was going to be this one player that was going to kick it, so they all moved that way. But no, there was another Turkish player waiting on the other end. He kicked it his way, and he's the one that got it in. it was impressive. Something I didn't understand in this match was why so many of the players took the ball after they scored a goal. Did I miss this in other matches? The Netherlands are like little gazelles when they run because they're so tall and slim. They have big strides. They're very graceful looking. I also love them passing. The ref in that match was this woman. She was so tiny and so freaking fast. At one point, she tumbled and they just leapt over her. One thing I hate, though, with the Netherlands is when they wear their black shorts. They look like little jack-o'-lanterns. It's giving Halloween. And another own goal on Tunisia's end. Like, it's crazy to me that this keeps happening. It's too painful. There was this bicycle kick that almost went in for the Netherlands, but it didn't. It looked like he landed hard on his back, too. I loved when Curacao played Germany. I loved watching Germany play. Germany playing Ecuador, though, was not enjoyable for me. And this is another situation where I thought Germany would beat Ecuador because Germany beat Ivory Coast and Ivory Coast beat Ecuador. That's the math I was doing. But the final goal that was made in that match, it like hit the guy's toe. It was like, boop. It was incredible. And it was another set piece. Those corners are lethal. Paraguay versus Australia and Curacao versus Ivory Coast. Those matches felt very clumsy to me, sloppy. Paraguay versus Australia, both teams looked tired, like run down. They looked heavy on the field, if that makes sense. But maybe it was hot. I don't remember where they were playing. They were almost rhythmless. Yeah, there was no rhythm. Curacao versus Ivory Coast, though, there was a lot of falling, and not that fake falling, like literally people were tripping on their own feet. Not what I want to see on the field. I want to see art. I want to see dance. I want to see tricks. I want to see fast passes. Okay, that's it so far. I'm really pumped to watch Norway and France play, and Spain versus Uruguay. No predictions, just curious how it'll go. It's so painful when they put a goal on the scoreboard and then take it away. It's happened like a couple times, but the most gut-wrenching was Egypt and Iran. Ugh, what do you mean half his foot was offsides? Like, be for real. Take this tech away. It's so adorable when the players are stretching and doing little drills on the sidelines. Kind of reminds me of like when little kids are practicing during weekend sports. It's so wholesome. Like, orange slices, anyone? Norway versus France. Where was Holland? Oh, so because you're already and you're gonna slack off? People were saying this is what happened with Germany and Ecuador. Don't waste my time like that. Actually, it might be nice to give other people like a chance to play. Never mind. I think it's sweet. I'm still really not grasping how good France is. Like, I know they're good because people keep telling me they're good, but I don't enjoy watching them as much as I enjoy watching Portugal or Japan or even Argentina. I will say France had Norway tired. Like, Norway looked exhausted. But maybe that's part of why France is so good. Hat trick number 7, I saw it. And I liked how that player made that final goal. He was like, oh, I'm going to shoot. No, I'm not going to shoot. Oh, I'm going to shoot. Oh, I'm not going to shoot. A little playfulness in the game. I was paying attention to Olise this match because people told me to. And he reminds me a lot of the Netherlands players, how they kind of glide on the field. Senegal versus Iraq, loved every moment of it. Player 4 in Senegal seemed really nice. Like, I like when he scored the goal and he was like, oh, chill, everybody, relax. That last goal that player 13, I think, scored. It was like from the other side of the field. It was so cool. I just know Iraq, though, was happy to hear that whistle blow. Like, they were over it. New Zealand versus Belgium. Okay, Belgium. Player 11 on Belgium plays too much, though. Like, at the start of the game, he did this thing that, like, Lamine does where he'll, like, tease the player. You know when you hide the ball in a cup and you're like, guess which cup the ball's hiding? That's what he was doing, but with his feet. Then in the middle of the match, that player tripped someone, like with his own fancy footwork. It was so embarrassing. New Zealand's team had no chemistry. There were so many times where the players were like waving like, I'm open. You guys should be speaking that here. What? But my favorite moment of the whole match was when player 7 from Belgium and player 16 from New Zealand had like a little moment. Computer, it was so sweet. Spain versus Uruguay. I loved Spain's little jerseys this match. Uruguay lived in the corner during their Saudi Arabia and Cape Verde match, but they couldn't do that here. Not with Spain. And player 14 blowing up on Uruguay, like, they worked him to the bone. And while I technically understand what a foul is, during the whole match, I couldn't tell you which ones should or shouldn't have counted. What I can tell you is when someone is lying. Like, I can tell when there's no contact made, but otherwise it's really hard. Egypt versus Iran. When Egypt scored that goal, there were like 3 people in the net and it still got through. There was a nutmeg on the goalkeeper, and one of the defenders kicked it in the net. Please stop making your own goals. Number 9 looked very sleepy before he took that penalty. Like, he was not locked in. But his teammates were. They hustled real quick right after he shot it. Number 3 on Egypt, he like slid under player 5 on Iran. Like, he tapped the ball and like didn't hurt the player who was playing the ball, not the man. Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, I don't think either of these players are that fun to watch. They're all hungry for the ball, mindlessly hungry for it. Like, so many people will gather around the ball at a time and scuffle, but you guys need other players outside of the ball. Where are your set pieces? The whole match was honestly just really frustrating. There were so many times where I wanted to get on the field. Like, let me take a shot, okay? I feel like a lot of the goal celebrations are pulling from things in anime. I need to watch anime so I can be hip. I've already started watching Blue Lock. A lot of people here recommended it. And Chainsaw Man, which I'm only a couple episodes in, but it seems really sweet. And Attack on Titan, which is pretty violent, but I'm enjoying it. But I haven't seen any goal celebrations pulling from those shows yet. So maybe I'm watching the wrong shows. Are there any rules with celebrations? Like, you can do whatever you want for however long. One thing I do love is like all the different prayers that will happen on the field when people celebrate. So diverse, so wholesome. Okay, that's it so far. So next week, things are gonna get serious, right? The big dogs are gonna play. I'm pumped.